Benevolence. Benevolence, it's love every time. So, this is Walk One. This is what we do. Benevolence, it's love every time. Walk One. Is technology the savior or okay, so boom, we are live. It's David Dimitri. We are live. We are live in color. Dropping the jewels. In gratitude to all y'all, I'm dropping a live stream because I need you to know your potential on these specified levels that I addressed today. Not expected, but definitely insured on time. That's important. Timing is of eminent importance. Timing is such an important part of our reality. So, yes, we are definitely dropping jewels. We on time. So I'm live, not at David Dimitri live in color on YouTube, but O.W.U, the original world union on YouTube. We getting serious about these serious things. You see what I'm saying? Y'all get it? We are in serious times. All the heckling, jeckling, and all the gossiping, all the feelings. You got to be able to get past your own feelings. When they say don't get in your own way, no matter who you are, you can get in your own way. See, we all want to be the boss. We all want to be the boss. We even want to pay the cost. It used to be that cats want to be the boss, but they didn't want to pay the cost. Nah, they want to pay the cost. They want to pay the cost because they already been suffering. But see, too much suffering and trauma causes you problems with reality and how you respond and react to reality. You overreact, you underreact, you respond in ways that aren't beneficial for you or that is not altruistic. You have to be altruistic in your approach to the challenges and opportunities in your life. You have to be a win-win, and that's what we're going to address today. But on the backdrop, we're going to address that on the backdrop of looking at technology, the technocrats, the technocracy. Because yesterday in the talk we did address the issues with technocracy. Okay? We did address those issues with technocracy being used to push oligarchy, and a plutocracy. This is the level of the challenges that we're dealing with, not the opportunity. And when I say we, the real original peoples of the earth, the real human beings. And regardless of your belief system, we have things in common and we need to focus on that. And that's the purpose of me doing this. And so the tendencies are usurping and sabotaging the majority, the supermajority of people's potential at capitalizing on opportunities. We are each other's opportunity. Things are not our opportunities. They are to be tools to serve us. And this is the direct importance of knowledge of self on the highest to lowest levels. You see, so this is we're going to address some specific special information today. And so once I'm purposely am not pre-planning and pre-informing my regular and most appreciated loved ones who arrive on my lives. Yesterday, one of the callers was from my O.W.U YouTube. As a matter of fact, he's a professional massage therapist. He's a healer in real life. And he called in and spoke on some very deep levels about witchcraft. So, to further that, I want to introduce the idea that technology is being used for witchcraft as witchcraft. So, when we challenge these potentials by speaking of them, this is where we realize what we're opportune and what we're up against. No longer is it polarized in our subconscious, and we're without a conscious competence, we're responding and reacting from a subconscious, unaware perspective. What I want to help you do is be a conscious, competent player in the reality of what you are in on all levels. So today on this talk, we're going to use the current realities of the technology now, today, exact now, going forward into 2025. You see, this is what's vitally important. It is the particular focus. And I'm saying this, although I'm aware that my conscious competence might be such on a level that the way I communicate my hope to be interpreted and understood message, I have to be very precise and procure my terms, my tone, and attitude with expectation management. This is declared as a truth of what I have to do, not a notion. So, without further ado, what I want to do is let all be known. So, all be known that thank you, Alicat, for letting me know everything that you just shared with me. So, Malik, I hope you're on hearing right now. I am speaking to you right now. Malik, you helped me with this particular message today. What you expounded on yesterday about witchcraft. I brought that into the conversation yesterday because the foundation of that conversation yesterday was about sabotage, whether it be purposeful or accidental, whether it be self-sabotage or others sabotaging others purposefully or accidental. If you look at that conversation, the term sabotage and the importance of sabotage and the recognition of sabotage must be recognized, because for our particular group of people, reality has a lot of great opportunities, yet reality has a lot of probabilities of different types of sabotage. Yes, indeed. So, with that in mind, again, we're going to deal with technology right now. If you look at the title, I'm not sure whether you're on the live YouTube. I'm not sure if you're on the O.W.U YouTube. I'm not live on David Dimitri Live in Color. I can be, but if I do it, it's going to take quite a minute. I don't feel like doing it. Let's see, I could... well, anyway, so we're on the O.W.U Original World Union YouTube. If anyone is hearing that, we're on David Dimitri on Instagram, and we're on David Dimitri Johnson on Facebook. I'm going to drop my message regardless, because I know what I'm doing with my data. I know what I'm doing in the future with all of my live streams recorded. So, give thanks. Healing Hands Massage, Malik has manifested, because Malik is a appreciated manifestor. With gratitude, we speak benevolence unto one another. Again, if you looked at the name, we're questioning, is technology the savior? Is technology the savior? We have a caller.
Thanks. Healing Hands Massage, and manifest.
And benevolence.
Yes.
Hello.
Appreciate it, man.
Brother Malik. Gratitude.
All right.
With gratitude.
There's a delay. Okay.
Yeah, there is a delay. I'm sorry. I actually did a little bit to help that. I'm not sure if it's still... Is it echoing delay, or is it just a delay?
It was echoing a bit, and there was a delay. And I did manage to get things good on my computer.
Okay, good.
So I'm actually watching the Instagram on the computer.
Okay.
But I'm also just calling via the phone. So.
Okay. Well, we are appreciative of you being here, because you're actually part of the inspiration of this specific talk. I was not going to do anything today because I overdid it yesterday. You know, I was on there for over 3 hours. So,
It
but
happened.
you coming in and adding to the information I brought about witchcraft.
Yes. Well, like to more or less kind of continue from where I picked on. Well, first off, I just wanted to say one of the things that does lead up to this is ultimately it's not feeling secure with how things are with yourself or what's around you. Um, I said trauma, pain, or wanting
Hmm.
more,
Yeah.
and these are just the part of the elements of the human condition.
Yes.
And the messed up thing about it is that whether people want to accept it or not, there are things from that have various different names and come from various places that know humanity a bit more than we'd like to give them credit for,
Yes.
and they play on certain things.
Hmm.
As I said before, certain things they don't really work for free.
Yes.
One of the things that one of the limitations that human beings have, um, well, the many when we see things that are like have less limitations, we fantasize that,
Mm.
we
Okay.
fetishize that, and I think that this is actually one of the reasons why there are um, certain religions and certain groups that kind of oppose certain forms of the media.
Hmm.
It might seem strange to everybody else, but to them, it's like certain people are susceptible to falling into these
Hmm.
godlike traps. They fall into the false gods powers, if that makes sense. They
Yes.
they end up going into those things that they feel can grant them that. And I feel like at some point for me, they end up dwelling more into manipulation. People call that
Hmm.
spells or hypnosis by playing on the weaknesses that are within human beings.
Hmm.
When you keep focusing on how to take and how to, just keep growing in power, well, you get what you get. And there are many names for it, and there are many different abilities. There's many different things that go with it. Um, and they usually don't have a good ending. As I said before, this is the kind of stuff that tricks you into thinking that you could take one out of zero.
Yeah. Hoo, hoo, hoo. I like how you said that, and I like how you've been saying that. That's very important. That's very important.
You
It's
know,
it's a void in people that's causing this thirst for power that has nothing to do with their soul or their self being. They're seeking power that has nothing to do with them. They're defining it as power, but in actuality, it's just like a self sabotage.
the self sabotage is it's an attempt to keep feeling infinity in a good way. What I'm trying to say is that if everybody changes, what, every 3 years, every 5 years, what
Mm.
we want and what we believe does change, and we all are
Mm.
aware of change. And I feel like that another motivation is that people use this stuff as an attempt to kind of keep things a certain way. Not to get a little bit too off the rails, but I do feel like there is some relevancy to this. There's this particular episode in the Twilight Zone where you had this one particular kid that had some a weird ability to warp reality,
Yeah,
and
the
he
control
murdered.
minds and all that, and the
He
create
he
call things into being.
he was he was like basically a human with too much power for his own good.
Mm-hmm.
Then the problem is I think it was actually a brilliantly done episode, because I think it shows. Well, yeah, that's one of the flaws of like unchecked power and what really like what could happen, or when if things got a little too out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, it's just going to result in destruction. Because one thing I could say as a kid that did grow up, unfortunately, with certain issues with empathy, especially for things that weren't human.
Did you have a lack of empathy or did you have a overmuch?
You see, lopsided. Lopsided. That means high in other areas, low in others. There we go. So, with that being said, someone like me used to, unfortunately, destroy insects, and a lot of people did. But the thing is that I think that there's levels to what you comes behind that, the feeling of power, the feeling of deciding, and the thing is I'm thinking, it's kind of the same thing. When you get older and you start looking into these things, they just kind of you're dehumanizing yourself. You're taking away the thing that makes you human. A lot of pain can do this, and a lot of people are like, well, if I've been hurt this much, what else more can I do?
Hmm.
And this also comes from me, like almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Me and my wife both had to cut out a friend. And I'm being, like, there was a whole lot of things that was going wrong with her life, but I know for a strong fact that a good amount of the reasons why a lot of bad stuff was happening her way was because of witchcraft. With me being an active witness, I have
Yes.
seen this person try to do like these weird spells and these manifestations, and anybody can do some sort of manifestation. Anyone could. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is this, intention also matters, and also the side effects. There's a saying that no good deed goes unpunished. There is some truth to that. There are times when you could do good things and not necessarily, be punished, albeit one could say if you give money away, then you lose money. Sure, you're doing something good for the higher, purpose, but you've still lost something. In order to, do something good, you have to give. And,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
um, so, but, this was a person that kept wanting money and was just being very unstable. This person lived in Glendale and lived on a property that required like $2,000, if not more, a month,
Mm.
and just ultimately was just not able to do it. And when there was like signs of hope, it was almost just like a trick. You see, I don't really think that she had enough spiritual karma to even really, you know, do what she was doing. She was in debt to already a lots of people, and
Mm-hmm.
eventually got to the point where she ended up just like, it's like, well, I mean, I'm not going to judge you or anything, but hey, you have to do what you have to do. At some
Yeah.
point, we all just had to get away from her because it's like, listen, I'm sorry, but and to be
Yeah.
very honest, that's like, even during when she was doing like the witchcraft stuff, even at that point, I'm like,
So
yeah,
she
this.
actually opened up to you guys to let you know what she was doing.
Oh no, like I said, I don't want to put the name out for
Nah,
like
but
privacy reasons and stuff.
what I'm asking you is she actually opened up and let you both know what she was doing.
Here's the thing: my wife, at the time, didn't really know too much about this stuff, but that's also just
Mm-hmm.
because the circumstances were different. But with me, I knew exactly what it was. But the thing is that back then, I didn't exactly realize just like how like unstable like this stuff really was. I got burned many times. You see,
Mm-hmm.
I was a very, like I said, very susceptible, naive kid with a lot of like issues as a result of trauma, and also just growing up with multiple disorders, one of which is ADHD.
Okay.
And when that happened, like it led to like me fetishizing power, this idea of getting back at everybody and being like almost like a weapon.
Mm.
You know, if not for a good community, things could have honestly gotten worse, especially because of the people I was meeting. And the thing is that as a person who's a lot more aware of this stuff, and I, I mean, I'd like to believe I'm a force for good, and but one thing I will say is that if you dabble like into this stuff, there's going to be some sort of side effects. It's going to maybe you having like maybe you meet certain people that might stay in your life longer than maybe they should. It could be certain, events that maybe were short but like are very scarring.
What I realize on that level that you're speaking right there is that because I've studied and lived in Ifa, which is a form of indigenous African, and Msheshe with voodoo. I actually lived with these people that live that. They're not religious or anything like that. It's their culture. It's the only thing that exists. You understand? And
Mm-hmm.
so when you're around those people, you got to understand right now that you, me, we're indoctrinized by this particular thing that God allowed. But you have to understand before this, God allowed something different in other places. And so the people that we're indoctrinized by in the world that we live in and is indoctrinated, the thing that we call our, you got to look at things outside of a psychosis. You got to come out the psychosis. You got to go past the veil and come blank. Because once you come blank, you can receive things for what they are, not by what we're told through all these psychosis defense mechanisms and held beliefs, whether they were synthesized in us or whether they were socialized into us. And I'm not saying these people are capable of doing what I'm saying, but for us, someone like me has been capable of doing it because I had no choice. I had to live with us and them. And so what I learned is you got the actual real culture, not religion, but cultural practice with its actual real intention and its actual real outcomes. Whereas you have the propaganda against these African people and these indigenous people and their practices. So no matter what's wrong with us is kind of like this, just like what's right with us. We have been told to look at all and anything related with that as bad. And so we not that you do that and not that I do that, but when we're that particular person that you're speaking of and me and others that first probably ran across that, we were who we were. So if somebody's in the Ifa culture or the indigenous culture, regardless whether it's African American Native or Mayan or whatever it be, if they have bad intentions of their use of the energies and tactics and methods, which is ritual, then you're going to get that bad outcome. But
in her case, it was horrible.
if you have good intentions, like you're supposed to, as the original culture, and I just wanted to say with all that is, it's the adaptation that matters. So you can, to me, it's like somebody could been raised Christian, Muslim, but then they find out about that, and in an innocence and with good intentions, they're learning it. They're like, and they're learning things about it, and they're like, wow, I didn't know I could do this and I can do that, and they're only doing it for good. But then you have somebody that has been hurt and hurt people. They go about it and they say, well, I'm going to get revenge on men, because a lot of women do that.
Yes.
And some men say, I'm going to take control of women.
Yes.
And so that's the problem. Like that, to me, it's about the individual and their intention.
Yeah, having good intentions is a good thing, and that's the goal. But the individuals to worry about are the ones that are using it more towards their own motives, or think that they can somehow stand out against all else. There are way too many.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They're like Donald Trump.
There are way too many examples, of people that think that that can't be me, or I will be different. People say that like movies aren't real life. In a sense, they are. I do think, in a sense, they are. Like, especially when they show a very successful villain. It's just that when here's the thing: a successful villain goes through many, many people. They have many, many victories, but that doesn't last forever. And eventually, there's going to be those that watch them fall. Sadly, most people do think that the bad guy wins in the end, because, like I said, they have a lot of victories. But in the end, in the law of darkness, and this is something I like I know, in the law of darkness, it must yield to a greater darkness, or it yields to the light.
In the law of darkness, it must yield to a lower darkness,
No,
or
a greater darkness.
a greater darkness, or to the light.
In the law of darkness, it must eventually yield to a greater darkness or yield to the light.
Wow. That was epic. That made me feel like I was in the Mayan in the Yucatan, and they were having me look at my image in a black mirror. You know, they're black mirrors. The Mayan culture has black mirrors.
I was actually recently at the Ethiopian.
Okay. Awesome. I haven't been there in a while.
I went there officially twice.
Okay. So now, everyone, this is first of all, I want to say peace and blessings to Lacora Steffens. Peace and blessings, Lacora Steffens. Yeah, this is David Dimitri live in color, and we're talking with Brother Malik, known as Healing Hands Massage 777. Look at him right there in the comments. He is a specialist healer in massage therapy, and that's who we're speaking with. Yesterday, Brother Malik came on, and we were talking about multiple subjects, but I brought up witchcraft and its relations with the subjects, and he came on and called in, and you can call in at 909-446-2388 to add to the discussion, and we respect your wisdom. And he dropped jewels about witchcraft. Then I played a video that I planned on showing about witchcraft, so it was all great, but it helped inspire me today. The subject that we're talking about today is technology. Is technology the savior? Is it going to save us? Is it saving us, making us better? Is it going to save us? Or blank. So that's a challenge for any of you to come up with your ideas. Again, you can call in. The number is right there on the screen. And
I like this one.
And so it relates with the witchcraft part. And then you just came on and gave a great talk about the causes of why people are getting involved in what's called witchcraft. And when we say witchcraft, we don't mean the European culture. We respect that culture. We mean the African diaspora and African use of the word, which is you people who misuse their energy and their powers to hurt others, to control them or hurt them. And that's what we mean by witchcraft. But let me share something with you about technology, everybody. So I'm going to share something on the screen. You'll be able to hear it and everything. So let me see.
Head of innovation.
No.
Things in production.
No, we're not there yet.
How are people not seeing this? The government just released...
Okay, we're going to go here. Hold on, everybody.
How are people not seeing this? The government just released new terrifying technology that will control us. Before we look at it, let me give some context.
The world is going to go to a digital financial system. You and I will each have our own personal.
Okay, I'm going to share that with you all now.
Hello?
Everyone listen in.
How are people not seeing this? The government just released new terrifying technology that will control us. Before we look at it, let me give some context.
The world is going to go to a digital financial system. You and I will each have our own personalized ledger, which is accessed by our digital identity, connected to blockchain. You'll get your smartphone, you'll have your easy account with the bank, your digital ID, QR code is fast and easy.
Well, it's already happening. Civic is the first digital ID. And what's even more scary is what it says on the homepage. Strengthen your compliance program. Doesn't that spark some fear in you? They have already started to use it on vending machines. It's also what Ethereum and Polygon uses.
We're in the transition to the new financial system. It's coming. You're not going to stop it. Good luck.
Absolutely, everyone. Were you able to hear that, Malik?
Yeah, I just put it on mute. I just saw. Let me see if you're still watching some of it. It shows like the digital ID and stuff.
So, I want everyone to know that is what we're facing.
From my understanding, I know a little bit of more older news of something kind of relating to this. So I know that there is technology that apparently is said to be in Japan, where they could monitor certain waves in the brain from afar, and they can estimate probability.
Were you able to hear what I played?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to play it again because I really want it to be understood by anyone.
Okay,
I'm gonna play it one more time, everybody.
There is also a major delay.
Right. Everyone know. Yeah, pretty much all lives have a form of delay, whether it be 4, 5, 8.
Okay, let me try this again.
Seconds. So
I'm gonna put this on mute, and I'm gonna put this.
All right.
How are people not seeing this? The government just released new terrifying technology that will control us. Before we look at it, let me give some context.
The world is going to go to a digital financial system. You and I will each have our own personalized ledger, which is accessed by our digital identity, connected to blockchain. You'll get your smartphone, and you'll have, your new easy account with the bank, your digital ID, a QR code. It'll just be fast and easy.
Well, it's already happening. Civic is the first digital ID, and what's even more scary is what it says on the homepage. Strengthen your compliance program. Doesn't that spark some fear in you? They have already started to use it on vending machines. It's also what Ethereum and Polygon uses.
We're in the transition to the new financial system. It's coming. You're not going to stop it. Good luck.
Ethereum and Polygon are cryptocurrencies. Did you know that blockchain is used heavily in world governance, from local governments to state and federal or central governments right now on this planet? What that just spoke to you is to let you know that they will have invasive techno chips implanted would assign to your genetics and your memory, and all ambitions, desires, intentions, actions will be recorded, critiqued, and corrected at your own risk and against your benefit, because the agenda is more important than any one individual in any one group of millions of people. I'm purposely speaking slow, and I purposely played that twice. So your short-term memory will be forced to value the information that it is ingesting. We are not living in our past. We are not living in our hopes. We are not living in our optimism. We're living in a reality that we don't have control over everything. but it wants control over us. What think thou, any of you? Comments will be read and shared. Calls will be answered, and as the individual speaking with me will be heard loud and clear. You are respected here. You are in a safe space to express yourself. I'm all ears.
Well, I just can't help but think of like almost like a lab rats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like lab rats. That's the best way I could like feel about it.
Damn.
Lab rats.
And I think back to those videos they showed us when I was in elementary school and junior high school, because it was the 1980s, and they always showed us the videos of how bad the Nazis did the Jewish population of Central Europe. And I think about all the drawings and everything of how bad the blacks of slavery were treated throughout the Americas and the Caribbean, which is the Americas. How bad the Asians were treated during the Vietnam era, from Cambodia to Vietnam to Laos. And how terrible World War I and World War II was. But although people aren't being incinerated, aren't being shot, aren't being physically raped, I acquaint this more closely with the evil that the Bible and Quran and Amortic religions speak about, how the antagonist known as Satan said, I will turn all them from righteousness. I will turn all them like me. I will be right there in their path. And I feel all this technocracy is a desperate attempt by that force that said that declared that eons ago. I feel like it's the misuse of technology to enslave and compartmentalize and control and program and record the consciousness of humans en masse. It's just like a desperate attempt. It's like a last bit attempt to torture us.
They want control that bad.
So it begs the question, are they human? The laugh is not humor. The laugh is sad and cynical. Just like some people get so happy because of that happy moment, and they cry to the joy. I laugh at the pain. Threatening us with Vladimir Putin and Mao of China, who have control over so much of a nuclear arsenal. And there we go, our governments nitpicking at them because they're the big indestructible bosses. Because they can pick on little Palestine, they can also pick on China. Now, does that make sense?
So far, yeah.
We're living in seductive opportunities and seductive stimuli, pleasures that do not resemble our interpretation of right over wrong, nor does it resemble our natural inclination to natural self-love, natural self-preservation, and natural self-needs. It's something totally artificial in our day-and-day life. But there's no escape. Nature's the only escape. What say you?
One thing I do want to just share in regards to the video bit and how it also extends to other stuff. I do think that very similar to what I had said much earlier. Another fatal flaw with the human condition is slothfulness. And the thing,
like lazy.
well, the thing is this, like, the problem is that technology, or too much of it, has led to a mass of over-reliance and mass, which is not why we have a great deal of machines do lots of things for us. Our nature tends to we make things so that way we could have more time for leisure and work, smarter. But as time goes on, this eventually starts to become, well, bad, because you need to support everybody by working with one another. And when you become too reliant on technology, this just leads to an anti-social society, because the whole do it all on your own, and you have this like soulless companion, or soulless entities that are supposed to, like, we have people making like bots that are designed to be companion, and the type of bots I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's how far it's gone.
Yes, indeed.
It is replacing our soul, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. That's it. Remember yesterday I kept speaking about the battle between our soul consciousness with the ego consciousness.
Yes.
Whether it's the internal battle or the out.
Ego, the ego wants to accessionally become a god.
Absolutely.
It wants to do that as much as it can. To the best of its ability, it's going to try to endlessly satisfy itself. It will never be able to. That's actually one of the problems, with power, even with individuals that have a near limitless amount or a seemingly limitless amount. It will never be enough.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a brilliant realization. Blessings and beloved Delphi priestess. It's love every time. Alley Cat. It's love every time. Benevolence. LaCora Stevens. It's love every time. We dropping jewels. Me and brother Malik, also known as Healing Hands Massage 777. You see him in the comment sections on Instagram, and he is a brilliant massage therapist healer. If you need, contact him freely.
I appreciate that.
we are really doing something here, and if anyone else wants to call in, what I want you to do is put a thumbs up when you're ready to do that, because what I want to do is have one caller at a time. I can do more than one caller at a time, but there's a reason why I only want to do one caller at a time.
Understood.
It's easier to not overlap over each other when you're talking. But I have a device I'm going to be ordering once I get enough donations up, and it'll be able to take many. And I heard they're going to be that company's going to be dropping a software and make it even easier. But phone number is 909-446-2388. So earlier I showed a video, and I do want to show that again because I know Alley Cat and LaCora were here, but Delphi Priestess, I would like to know because she has a specific cosmic consciousness contribution that I would like her to respond to this. This is multiple videos I'm gonna play, everybody, and they're very important, and it's all about technology going forward into 2025. But this particular one is the more narfaric. Some of the others are going to be more about the optimistic perspective on technology. So is it optimism that we should blindly have, or should we have a balanced perspective on technology where we're optimistic because we actually see benefits? So should we approach it neutral? Therefore, if it's something that'll harm us, we don't have a problem being pessimistic. If it's something that'll benefit us, we don't have a problem being optimistic. That's my view on it, but I want to see what you guys say. So I'm going to play this video for her. And we don't have to talk about it. We can go back to what we were talking about, but I just want to show it. Delphi Priestess, I will show this for you right now.
We're about to watch a video?
That same video I played before, because it's the only one that's really negative. The other ones are more on a positive tip. Here we go.
How are people not seeing this? The government just released new terrifying technology that will control us. Before we look at it, let me give you some context.
The world is going to go to a digital financial system. You and I will each have our own personalized ledger, which is accessed by our digital identity, connected to blockchain. You'll get your smartphone, you'll have your new easy account with the bank, your digital ID, a QR code. It'll just be fast and easy.
Well, it's already happening. Civic is the first digital ID, and what's even more scary is what it says on the homepage. Strengthen your compliance program. Doesn't that spark some fear in you? They've already started to use it on vending machines. It's also what Ethereum and Polygon uses.
We're in the transition to the new financial system. It's coming. You're not going to stop it. Good luck.
Okay, so I just wanted Delphi Priestess to hear some of that. So if she does have a chance to call in, that she can cover that one, because the other videos are more positive. But back to what you were saying, Malik, because you were dropping jewels, your vibrations were very, very, very important.
You were saying some three perspectives: pessimistic, optimistic, and realistic.
Well, even before that, you were speaking about how it related. It was like you were relating, and we were relating with the makers of this technology and their narfaric intent. And with that, I want to say I call them Sith. I'll call them Sith. S-I-T-H.
Yeah.
Sith. Like, they're Sith. If you study some of the ancient teachings of Europe, there's a word called Sith, and it's a physicalized devil. Yet it can control minds, it can control spirits, it can control events by controlling beings. It can make two beings fall in and out of love. And it's an actual physical being somewhere with its eyes closed, meditating and controlling these things. Now, from our culture, it's called witchcraft. Right? So with that, that's why I brought it up yesterday, and then you called in, and that's why I'm bringing this up. We're going into the use of technology for witchcraft. That's what we're on tonight. Peace, Kashif. Bay, peace.
And then the two relate. The one thing that I do said earlier is that it does seem to be like a battle over the consciousness, and it just seems to be just taking place in a different way. as in some ways largely more. It's an effect of more maybe like a newer, more refined form of witchcraft. One could say.
What I would say to that is the technology is so they can be more effective because it can reach many more at one time.
Yes.
More spatial zone.
It's easier
and
to farm.
less tempo buffer.
It makes it easier to farm.
And so more sentient beings known as humans are affected and under the control of the messaging. And it's not just message because the technology is a vibratory rate. It is vibration. So they're using microwave. They're using microwaves, but they used to use radar waves for radio transmissions and for television transmissions. After World War II, they used microwaves. Take the message out of it. They are vibrating the microwaves through telecommunication towers and wires. And they don't have to have the messages irrelevant. The vibration is what keeps us violent, stopping us from sleeping, keeping us irrational in our decision making, causing people to be addicts, addictive personality, addictive psychosis. What do you think?
Hello?
Yeah. What do you think?
It seems just like a lot of stuff happening all at once. One thing I know is that also because I'm currently trying to I'm on a little detox journey, or at least the best I can. Just because it's a fight, it's a challenge trying to genuinely stay healthy because of just the amount that's in front of you, and just dealing with the battles of just being human. Exactly. All of these things are right in front of us. Like if you consume seafood, you have a good amount of mercury and microplastics in your brain and in your blood. That's just like one of the many things.
Dang.
I think a lot of our behaviors are not really under as much control as we think, sadly. And I think it's always just a battle of having to just retake that control. And I think there's a genuine amount of work that needs to be done to do that. Regarding like with technology and how it like goes with this stuff, I feel that an over-reliance of this is just going to lead to you're going to just lose your soul to this stuff. It's going to think for you. We've already seen like 2, if not arguably 3 generations that have like low attention spans with, one, there's many people who believe that the baby boomers and Gen Xers have probably like the highest attention spans, with the millennials and the Gen Zers starting to really, decline. The collective spirit is being consumed by war machines, by machines meant to control. And one of the things I do find very scary personally. More so than the video that you had us watch. Have you ever seen the movie Oppenheimer?
Well, before we go there, I wanted to respond to something you said.
Okay.
And before I do that, I want to say, what's up, Peace, One Life? How's the modeling doing? Sister, One Life. Benevolence, it's been a long time. How's the modeling going? You know what I mean? If you can, comment, respond in the comments, Sister One Life, because I pay attention. Your modeling is always top level. Gratitude. The sister's a beautiful sister. She's a model. Gratitude for her showing up. Gratitude. But to respond to what you were saying, we're talking about technology and going into 2025 with these elections and a new president with these crazy stuff going on with World War III and all this stuff. Yet we have great opportunities with crypto. We have great opportunities with great use of the technology to make your money, to get your money and keep great relationships, to have fun, to travel the world, right? So how far do we go into the ignorance of the negative truth and reality of this technology and how it's harming us as a mass of people and as individuals, versus how much do we get into the negative, being so pessimistic about the technology that we not living? And so that's the discussion right now that we're talking about, because yesterday we were talking about witchcraft. So my input on this conversation today is that the technology is being used as witchcraft by those elites who have control. Like some of the people that's actually bringing down Puff Daddy, they are just like him, but to cover their ass, they bringing him down and bringing others down. But at the same time, his ass deserve it. And so it's the same thing. It's like we know how to take the bad things they give us and make good out of it. That's my perspective, though. But what's y'all perspective, though? The phone number is 909-446-2388. It's right there on the screen. If you want to contact me, davidandmitri.com. It's right there on the screen. Go to contact. Hit me up. Call in right now. If you're going to call in, put a thumbs up in the comments. And whether you're on the YouTube, on the Facebook, or whether you are on the Instagram, and that's how I know you want to call, and then I'll switch to you on the phone. So put the thumbs up or say I want to call before you call. So in regards to what you were saying, though, you're absolutely on point. It's the way you put it is so simple and plain. And there was a video I played a little earlier. Everybody got to see it. I don't think CASHAPP saw it or One Life. I'm going to play it for them because I want them. That's the only negative video I have about the technology. All the other stuff is positive because I want to leave you with hope. I never will not leave you with hope. Let's go into that video real quick. Y'all listen in, CASHAPP and One Life. Check it out.
How are people not seeing this? The government just released new terrifying technology that will control us. Before we look at it, let me give you some context.
The world is going to go to a digital financial system. You and I will each have our own personalized ledger, which is accessed by our digital identity, connected to blockchain. You'll get your smartphone, you'll have your easy account with the bank, your digital ID, a QR code. It'll just be fast and easy.
Well, it's already happening. Civic is the first digital ID, and what's even more scary is what it says on the homepage. Strengthen your compliance program. Doesn't that spark some fear in you? They've already started to use it on vending machines. It's also what Ethereum and Polygon uses.
We're in the transition to the new financial system. It's coming. You're not going to stop it. Good luck.
Ethereum and Polygon. Using Ethereum and Polygon are some of the top cryptocurrencies. So it's letting you know the same technologies that's doing crypto is also going to be used against us to sort of enslave us. That's what it's saying. That's what it's saying. That's the threat. That's the reality of it. But that's only if people know that. A generation being born right now would not even know that there's a difference, and that's the goal. It was just like when they first said we're gonna make black people slaves, it was like, hell no, this ain't gonna work. They kept doing it. They said, if we keep doing this and we send these lies and messages, our kids and their kids and their kids won't even know the difference. What do you think of that?
The last part was something I would not know the difference. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. I said that the just like with this technology, how that in the video it just said the different threats that it's opposing to us. It only is a threat to us because of our age and because we know the difference.
Oh, okay.
But the children being born right now,
they wouldn't know.
By the time they're 18 and 20, they wouldn't know the damn difference, just like the 18-year-olds, 20s don't know certain difference. And I said that they did the same thing with slavery. They were like, these particular individuals, they know the difference. But their children's children won't. And we'll make sure they won't know the difference.
Well, one thing I do know is that regarding technology and not knowing the difference, so there's there are video games that are very lifelike, and they are improving how lifelike they are, and they are using AI to also improve how lifelike they are. They already have this, but they are continuing to improve these things to the point where it would be not only very difficult to tell the difference between reality and the false reality that the AI is making, but a more dangerous but very possible technology is making a false reality that tricks your brain beyond that of being in its body.
Programs it.
If that happened, and you were in there for a sustainable amount of time, you would develop very severe psychosis or some sort of withdrawal as a result of being separated from it, and you would want to go back to it. That's one of the video games already can have a very addictive
so you're having you're having the withdrawal symptoms.
Think about it this way.
Tormenting withdrawal symptoms.
Think about it this way. There are people and I know because I used to be one of them, that fantasize about being in their own little reality. A lot of people would love to do this. So what they're doing is they have video games, whether you to the point where you could put a helmet on your head, or even in some things you can even go into a full body simulation. And it just takes you to wherever you want to do. Yeah. They even have it where you could even play video games without even needing to use your hands. Neuralink, which is some very strange kind of stuff. So that was one of the things I did want to mention earlier. Neuralink. Like two of my associates that are deeply into that stuff. They're gamers, so they like to go real hard into it.
Right.
So that kind of level was very addicting.
Well, now that you brought up Neuralink, before I do, I'm going to bring up something. So everybody on a neutral level, you heard what he spoke about. Neuralink, I'm pretty sure all of you know about that. That's not Elon Musk production or creation. He just is a funder of it, and he's a backer of it. Neuralink is part of the existentialist technocrats agenda to control us from the inside out. And it goes back to what I teach, and I've been teaching you all that we're soul consciousness, and that it's the ego versus the soul consciousness. They got us thinking we're just consciousness. The mind, no, it's soul consciousness versus the ego. And the ego's not supposed to be dispelled and not exist. Of course your ego's supposed to exist. But there's supposed to be a balance, and it's supposed to be used to benefit you. Like if an animal's about to bite you, you know to kick the shit out of it and run. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's trying to play you, you know to stop them from playing you. So in dealing with these technocrats, we got to be like, fuck this. You ain't about to play me and put no microchip in me and karate kick their ass and whoop their ass. Because you know what I'm saying? I'm smoking some weed. I don't need to be no node stuck up in me. I don't need you to put needles and shit in me. I don't need you to be putting microchips in me. I can get high on my motherfucking self. Know what I'm saying? I can
Let me
enjoy
tell you
life.
something.
You know what I mean? I
Let
don't
me tell
need
you
them.
something, my friend.
Hmm.
Like, I've made many mistakes, but one thing I could say is that the things I was in the past does not define who I am now.
Right.
One thing I can say, just in terms of vaccines, because I think they were mentioned earlier. Sadly, because I am like a certified / licensed California massage therapist.
Right.
During the pandemic, many of us were legitimately forced to be vaxxed. Otherwise, we would be out of a job and out of our career. And for me, I could say even before those things happened, I had gotten very sick. Before that was even a thing. I was in Los Angeles at the time. That was in 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, it was just so.
That's inspirational. Thank
It's
you
the
for
truth,
sharing
though.
that.
It's just
Yeah.
like
Thank you for sharing that. I want to share a video, everybody. So this is just one of the videos. It's another video.
I don't think people understand how much these brands have grown. Let's break it down. Starting off at number 5, we have Amazon. The e-commerce giant continues to dominate with its innovative services and customer focus. Coming in at number 4 is Microsoft. With its cutting-edge tech and software, it's no wonder they're still a powerhouse. Now, number 3 is a surprise. Tesla. Elon Musk's brainchild is not just about cars, it's about the future. On to number 2, say hello to Google. From search engines to AI, they're everywhere, and we love it. And the top spot, drum roll please, it's Apple. The brand that's all about sleek designs and innovative tech. They're redefining everything from phones to wearables. So what do you think? Did your favorite brand make the list? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hot takes.
Thank you for listening. Question 1. I'm going to let that sink in, so I'm going to have a moment of silence. Let's have a moment of silence.
hello.
Yeah, it's a moment of silence. It's
Understood.
purposeful for 2 reasons. The delay, and also I can see the delay. And also it's because I want it to sink into the subconscious. I do that on purpose. I don't want to be bombarding the information. I'm against the bombardment of information. I would be a hypocrite if I'm bombarding with information. So I'll purposely make points, quiet down, allow everyone to understand it or have time to process. I want to say the end of that video was the most important part of the video, toward the end of it. Because at the end of the video, they told on themselves. The end of that video, they told on themselves. I'm going to play the video again because it's not that long, but I want to see if anyone catches this. So please, my friend Malik, be a little patient because I still got I got all this planned. I got another 45 seconds, 30 seconds before I play it again.
I don't think people understand how much these brands have grown. Let's break it down. Starting off at number 5, we have Amazon. The e-commerce giant continues to dominate with its innovative services and customer focus. Coming in at number 4 is Microsoft. With its cutting-edge tech and software, it's no wonder they're still a powerhouse. Now, number 3 is a surprise. Tesla. Elon Musk's brainchild is not just about cars, it's about the future. On to number 2, say hello to Google. From search engines to AI, they're everywhere, and we love it. And the top spot, drum roll please, it's Apple. The brand that's all about sleek designs and innovative tech. They're redefining everything from phones to wearables. So what do you think? Did your favorite brand make the list? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hot takes.
Did anybody pick up on the important message sent at the end of that video? It was 2 messages that link together and tell you the purpose of that video. Not the message, the purpose of why I shared the video, but the purpose of why they made the video. How about you, Malik? Did you pick up on that?
Hello.
Yep. Did you pick up on that? No. You there?
Is it? Oh, I was just wondering if it was okay for me to talk.
You didn't hear me ask you?
Yeah, you kind of broke up a little bit. Even now, it's kind of a little choppy.
The audio is? The visual might be, but the audio shouldn't be.
Okay, now I can hear you a lot better now. I'm sorry. I hear you a lot better. I was trying to put things together. I'm sorry.
Well, the end of the video had the message of their purpose of making the video. When they make these messages, they don't intend your conscious mind to be able to pick up on the most important messages. They always use videos, whether it's film, music videos, and everything. It's always about the subconscious and how your subconscious will be programmed.
Okay.
And so I wanted to know if they're actually, because I know people, they be logged into these live streams, but they don't necessarily spend every second listening. I don't. I know I have things to do and habits. And so if anyone was listening, did you happen to pick up on what you think? Toward the end of the video, they revealed why they made the video and what the main message was of the video. Did anybody pick up on that? If so, say something in the comment area. If not, check it out. This is what the main message was. Each company they mentioned is designing the future of the experience in the coming colonies and inside the nuclear bunker cities. This is what you will be experiencing if you get to survive the nuclear war that's coming and the mass destruction that's coming. If you happen to survive and be in those nuclear bunkers, which will be the colonies, in some areas they will form colonies on the surface because it won't be too dangerous. They're telling you who's designing the future according to their plans. To us right now, it's just business as usual. It's just capitalism. It's just these big companies, whatever the fuck they programmed us to see it as. But I study international humanitarian law in Geneva and Davos. That means I studied the law of fucking war. The conventions and articles, the Geneva Conventions and articles. Hint, hint. You guys are actually tuning into somebody that been around the world elites, not these people that are in front of the cameras that you think is an elite, and so you think you want to support them or dislike them and meet them, but they're really not shit. I've been around the people that decide how many tens of thousands won't eat and how many will. That's power. Not people liking you because you're on camera. Not people liking you or disliking you because they belong to a group of people and you're the adversary or you're one of them. But people that actually have power decide over the human capital and that human capital's experience. That's what I had to deal with. And I'm telling you, those companies they mentioned are deciding your children's and your children's children experience. They're deciding the very fucking experience, their limits, what they can and can't do, what they will think and what they can't think, and how they will think it. What do you think, Malik?
I just thought of I don't remember word for word, but it's in the Bible. It basically was just saying something along the lines of how the future generations are going to suffer for the older ones, and this just seems to be like another example of it in a more in mass way. To our earlier point about how they're utilizing these things to take more and more control over the masses, and they're getting more and more effective at it.
Yes.
I guess with technology, the witchcraft within it, it's like you got things that could cook for you. You got things that could write entire like essays for you. You know, they have like bots that could apparently like outdo like lawyers. They can outdo us.
Yes.
And we are trying to, fully rely on these things.
Absolutely.
These things are just gonna like. This is a threat. Many of the smartest minds in the world have even said, hey, this is a problem. Like even I believe Stephen Hawking before he died, they even said that like, hey, AI, this level of technology, it's just as much of a threat, if not more, than nukes.
I agree.
This has the capacity to wipe us out.
Oh, absolutely. Because the nuclear bomb didn't have a mind of its own. It had to depend on a human, and the human had to depend on other humans to allow them to do anything. But now you have it where it is the computer, and it has a consciousness of its own. So just like as Sophia Stewart wrote in her manuscript, which was stolen by the Hollywood twin brothers and made into the movie Terminator, and then later the other half of the manuscript was made into the film Matrix. It's not an accident that those same guys came up with those two epic film series. It's because they stole it from that black American woman that was only 20. She was only 19 when she wrote it, 20 when she got it and presented it to them, and they act like, nah, we don't want it. They stole it from her. But that was the only way to get the message out to the world. So maybe the universe allowed that to happen. And in that story, you have Cybernet. Cybernet ends up a AI which decides to nuke. It took control of all the nuclear computer networks and launched out of nowhere and obliterated and annihilated hundreds of millions of people, billions. And then it launched all these, it took control over all these robot military forces that had been created. And then they were so powerful that they were able to create and innovate themselves into new versions of themselves because they controlled the manufacturer without humans. Do you understand the even fucking thought of that? They're manual, because those that win the war are those that can manufacture. They're fucking in the film series, in the book, they are manufacturing themselves. She wrote this shit. A black woman, not no 30-year-old or 25-year-old woman, a teenager wrote this shit on her own. She read nothing to influence herself to write it. She said she was having dreams that influenced.
So you're telling me they're making people?
Say again? No, they were in the story. The AI took control of the world military network and launched the nuclear bombs and annihilated half the humans and destroyed most of the surface of the earth. The survivors had to contend with all these machines, these military machines, and anything that had a computer chip was under their control. So there is the AI. When I say there, the AI fucking created, and this black woman wrote this. So any black women or women listening, this is not separate from you. This should have your full attention. And this shit is coming true. She's a prophetess. She prophesied what's gonna happen. And she said it comes from dreams. She didn't read anything. She was a teenager from Brooklyn that was going to school at the School of Film at USC. And she, at 15 years old, got into USC because she was a brilliant genius in New York. At 15 years old, she got accepted to the School of Film in USC before it was even called the George Lucas School of Film. And she wrote this while going there. And the AI took, after it did nuke the bombs, nuke the earth, it created a military force out of all the machines. It took over all manufacturing. And it was killing all the human beings that were in the bunkers. And it was killing all the human beings on the surface, trying to annihilate everybody. And it started innovating its own self into better versions of its physical machines. That's what the story of the Terminator is about in the Matrix. You understand? That shit is what we're living in, man. And that's where my teachings about interdimensional travel and time warfare comes into play, because it's all real. But anyway, I didn't want to get that deep. That's not what my goal was.
Well, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you had mentioned the Terminator and stuff, I usually like to use an earlier and more dangerous and more powerful story of that.
Westworld?
And that was actually made by, well, he's now gone, but he was made by the author Harlan Ellison. I have no mouth and I must scream. And it's a post-apocalyptic science fiction story. And pretty much what it's about is that an AI that was made by humanity, that was made for the purpose for destruction and sadism. Humanity makes something that was way too powerful for its own good and only one usage. Eventually, it was like a supercomputer. China, Russia, and the United States had all connected into this one thing, and it activated all of the bombs, the nuclear bombs, and eradicated the overwhelming majority of people, except 6. And pretty much the story starts to just take more of a darker turn of this, basically monster computer just torturing people because it hates them for making it. And that's where it starts to go more on.
I think I know a little bit about what you're talking about. I think I know a little bit.
That's actually what led to the inspiration of Terminator AM, the supercomputer.
Well, no. I'm gonna have to correct you. That's what them white boys said. The actual fact of the matter is, you would have to be throwing away everything I just said. Sophia Stewart, a black woman, wrote that, and they stole it from her. And until you admit that to yourself, you got to admit that. That means how valuable you are as a melanoid man. You have the mind to come up with that shit. They have the mind to steal it. They stole it from her. So you got to get that shit out your mind, so the next people that hear you speak about it, you tell the truth. No, I used to think this, but I found out Sophia Stewart, who just won $2.5 billion because they made $20.5 billion. They had to pay her 10%. She won. Yeah, man. I'm not talking out the side of my neck. I'm telling you all facts. Look it up, Sophia Stewart. And she can't. A black woman wrote that, not a black man, not a man. A woman.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the movie or anything that was stolen. I was just saying.
I know you were saying that it was in Terminator, but you happened to say Terminator was inspired by that. It wasn't. They lied.
Oh no, I was saying that maybe that was like one of the.
Nah, they lied. They lied. Or you just misthought. I'm telling you, a black woman, and this is what you need to understand about melanoids, brother. And when I say melanoids, people with dark skin and so-called kinky hair, which is really curly hair, we got the prophetesses and we got the prophets. There's no race that had that except dark-skinned people, not just Africans, but dark-skinned people, period. Prophecy is a thing from our culture that was adopted by other people. And so I just want you to know that at least I gave you the information.
Yeah.
And it's up to you to deal with it how you want. But I want everybody here to know that Sophia Stewart wrote that. And you have to understand she was not inspired, influenced by shit she read. It was by dreams she was having. And how is it that I'm so emotional about this? Because I have dreams all my life, and then the shit come true. Or I have dreams, like I had a dream about a giant rock was coming to Earth, came into our atmosphere, and then it slowed down, and the smoke and the fire was coming out of it, and electricity, like lightning, was shooting out of it, explosions, and it was a lightning coming out of it, like ripping the earth. The smoke was killing all the animals. The birds were passing out in the sky out of fear. The animals was falling out dead. People were falling out dead just out of the fear. And then when I looked close at it, and I passed out. I didn't pass out, I dropped. It like was such a powerful, the earth kicked off an energy of fear in this dream. The earth herself kicked off an energy of fear. And this dream was almost 30 years ago. And so what happened was, I fall on the ground, but me knowing myself is strong, in the dream I wouldn't pass out because I've been beat down in street fights when I used to sell dope and all that shit. I've been kidnapped, and I still wouldn't pass out. So in the dream I wouldn't pass out. So I was looking at that shit, and the trees slumped over, the animals passing out. The earth itself was kicking off so much fear because it knew once it hit it, it would suffer. And so what happened was this asteroid-like thing, I looked closely, all the rock was covering an actual spaceship, man. The rock was like a cover protection over a damn spaceship. And then when it got close to crashing, it like started slowing down, and a big side of it opened up, and big ass dark-skinned people start coming out of it, like floating out of it. I had that dream. At that time, I had never known what Anunnaki, Samaria. I never known none of that. I was a gangbanger. I was giving up on gang banging and selling dope at the time because I had to go to juvenile hall prison for a while. And because I was so real, I knew no fakeness, they were willing to give me this message. You go 15 years later, that's when I start learning about ancient Kemet and Samaria and the Entoto, known to other people as the Anunnaki. The Entoto or Neteru, known to people as Anunnaki. That's when I started learning about that. And that helped me get it in perspective. So I respect her. You see, we think because these bum-ass bums come up with these weak-ass rhymes, they suck at MCs. They come in, it's like what they call it, culture vultures. You see, that's big. And I just wanted to say that you are capable of knowing what nobody else knows because you're melanin. You see? You feel me? And that's why I'm being so emotional about it, because that's a very serious thing she did.
I don't deny what she did. The main
courts
thing
didn't either. That's why they gave her $2.5 million.
I was just pretty much just saying, like, that was the story. That was just one of the older like stuff that I thought of relating to tech, basically like Skynet. That stuff. Because I'm thinking, well, there's that, and there's the story I have no mouth, and I'm screaming. Pretty much.
Have you heard of Westworld?
I have, but I don't think I know.
The old Westworld really puts it in perspective too. To go back to what we were originally talking about.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not denying, like her visions, because, and to be honest, it's like, well, I'm a person that's had what people would call visions. Mm-hmm. I've had, I have some things it's more emotional. It's like, there have been times I've been accurately able to predict when certain people are going to kind of just go, not like in a bad way or anything, but that's just more from, you kind of just get like a sense of that. Only some people have it a bit more accurate than others.
Yeah,
it's not. It's but
I personally feel like through what I've been seeing in dreams over the last 10 years and whatnot, I don't think that, and it's sad, but I don't think melanoid people in the United States of America have the ability to slow down enough to really realize how dangerous of a situation they're in. Because if you look at the Westworld, the movie, you guys, it's called Westworld. It's a series on Amazon or it's on Netflix, one of those. But it's from a book that was written in the early 1900s. And you got to watch that, because you got to understand, like, if things go real bad, it's always the dark-skinned people that get it real bad, the worst. And so I just want to say we are in the Second Civil War and we are in World War III. It's just not protracted military combat yet.
Yes.
That's the only thing missing.
I've been saying this in my social circle as well, that we are already in a civil war. It's just like in a different way. It just hasn't gotten to where people are dropping like they that like they could be and eventually will be. Yeah. But a lot of people are more focused also on doing like cyber warfare, making very powerful viruses capable of wiping out like bank accounts and mass, or basically freezing a lot of things.
It never even crosses half the people's minds that the technology could be interrupted, like a mass cyber attack that actually shuts down the world's internet. Can you hold on just a second? We have another caller on. Delphi Priestess.
Yes. Hi.
Benevolence.
I'm listening.
Gratitude.
It's hard because my downloads all day has been just be in the eye of the storm. Don't get caught up in the duality. So the unity of humanity is hard because there's so much divisiveness that's been played upon all of humanity. We're all hurt from each other, different wars, different pains. And like, after I finished talking to you yesterday, I caught myself in my getting out of my meditation just upset because of a lot of stuff, you know, you bear witness to. And now, like, the constant talk of ascension is about getting out of the duality and understanding what the Matrix was about. The movie of the Matrix, the holograph, everyone talks about it being an illusion, is to understand neutrality, understand this from a perspective of this is the illusion. This is the illusion. So forever, humanity has been talking about certain struggles, all types of struggles. We reincarnate different times, different versions, different this, but it's time to like kind of awaken as humanity to understand this is a dream. And that's easier said than done, even as the ego when I say it, because, you know, for now, you know, I'm here like everyone else, understanding it metaphysically, intuitively, even in my meditations. But then I also understand, like, okay, it's meditating, going completely in and letting go of a certain level of existence and rising. Like, that's what that means, where you can manipulate the physical world around you. You know, you can walk on water. All of humanity has that ability. Why? Because you understand this is an illusion. This is no robot or bot. Nothing can stop you because you're more than the physical form. You're a consciousness. You exist multidimensionally and before existence. Like, it's deep. You know, my stuff is always like crazy.
No, it's necessary. Well, you're the oracle. You're the oracle. You and Malik are bringing the oracle consciousness. Hey, bro, Malik, I wanted one caller at a time. Could I prompt you in the comments to call back, brother Malik? Is that okay?
Multidimensionally and before existence. Like, it's deep. You know, my stuff is always like.
Bro, Malik, I just want to know if it's okay if I can prompt you in the comments to call back. Therefore, I have one caller at a time. Because I'll get the software in a couple of weeks to be able to have multiple callers. Otherwise, it'll sound weird. But, sister, I just got to say that do not apologize for your higher consciousness and anything about yourself here. It's very important that you don't, because people need to understand and respect you and what you're doing here. And you have to understand what you and Malik just did was bring oracle level consciousness. Y'all brought the oracle consciousness. You see, I'm talking practical and commonsensical, a little bit metaphysical, but y'all going all the way into the higher realms of ascension. Y'all ascending and bringing that consciousness back down for us. You see, and I'm gonna respond to you, Malik, by typing while I'm talking. But what you just said is vitally important, sister, and it's like you're reflective of the oracle. Everybody, gratitude to brother Malik. And Malik, why don't you type in the name of that film for me, please? That film you spoke of, or that book you spoke of, because I want to check it out. I really appreciate that you shared that with us. I know I got emotional about Sophia Stewart. I really appreciate what she did. It's amazing. They try to cover it up where that prophecy came from, but it did come from a black woman. I think that's incredible. But Delphi Priestess, you are bringing the consciousness. Brother Malik, you are bringing the consciousness. I just want to say, Brother Malik, please, if you could type in the name of that film you spoke of. I want to check it out. But or book. I want to check it out. We are living in a terraformed spatio-temporal zone. Our consciousness is human capital. Whereas we have to live with one another and be what we are and love one another and do the best with one another. Thank you, Brother Malik. Thank you very much. Bless and have a great shadow hours. Have a great evening. Everybody, I hope you're enjoying. It's David Dimitri live in color. Bless, you can call in 909-446-2388 and you can comment and we will read your comment. We appreciate you. You can go to David Dimitri live in color on YouTube and you can subscribe. Thank you. Please do. Many opportunities, daviddimitri.com for the book and film. But Sister Delphi Priestess, what you said, there's no apology for it because we are living in an illusion, but in a dream. But I wanted to say from my experiences with dreams that we have to fight. And the way that you're prescribing us to fight is the foundation and most important way to fight. We can go to the gym. We can run track. We can do what we think we're doing to prepare ourselves for a physical battle. But you don't live a physical battle. A physical battle happens here or there. You don't live a financial battle. That's here. That's every day, but it's like the real threats happen here and there. But what we live is a battle constantly over our consciousness. And like you said, it's an illusion. So we got to be, it's like we got to respond to what we only need to really respond to. And we need to not overreact or underreact because we don't want to drain our energy. Are you feeling me, sister?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's
you don't want to drain your energy.
And that's what's going on. It's like we have to master ourselves in a sense of knowing that we are energy, not just consciousness. Like I always say, we're soul consciousness and ego consciousness, but we're supposed to be dominant soul consciousness, but this world is trying to get us to be an ego consciousness. It's just like I have people that are literally like stalking me. They're jealous. They're trying to target me. It's true. I'm not just making this up. Grown ass 50-year-old, 40-year-old people.
They do the same to me.
Yeah, they're jealous. You know what I'm saying? Or they're in a vampire's parasitical state. They're like leeches, parasites, and they say, "Oh, look at him. That person has value. Let's see how they respond." And then when you don't respond, you respond in a certain way. They get to lie into some. It's their ego based. So their mind is always a lie, and their life is full of failure. They're always losing out, missing out, sabotaging themselves or sabotaging others. But I can't let my mind, knowing that they fucking with me, have me go over there and beat the shit out of them just because I can. Or call the police saying they did something that they didn't. Or bust a cap on them. I can't call the troops and have them come stomp their head open. That's me believing the lie. And that's what you teaching, is that we supposed to be soul consciousness. The soul is clarity and surety, certainty, because it's not attached, it's not grasping and clinging to the illusion of not only the 2 and 3 dimensional, but the biggest threat that they made a threat is the 3-dimensional and 4-dimensional. They created time as a threat. They made what used to be nothing but a helper to us become a torture to us. I gotta hurry and be here. I gotta be here. Oh, this is gonna take so long for me to get there, but I need to be here by this period of time. And then there's people that pride themselves, classist, people that are materialistic and classist. Look how good I am. I'm able to operate within this and have all this. And so they look down on others. And so they get in the system, or they're in the system, and they're advocates for that torture. But if you moved and you lived in Africa like I did, for years of your life like I did, and if you lived in the Caribbean like I did, you realize for some reason, black people take it slow. Black people on their own time. And fuck what you talking about. It's not just African Americans and Africans and Caribbeans that come over here that be on it. Why they acting? Let me tell you something. Go live in the Caribbean and Africa and find the fuck out. It's bullshit. The fact of the matter is, they like taking it slow and easy. And actually, that's the best for humans. That's the best for this world. It's something else, non-human, that said, rush, 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 you slaves. Worry, 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 you slaves. Rush, 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 you slaves. You're never good enough, you slaves. Never be satisfied, you slaves. Never be satisfied, you slaves. Be prideful and competitive, you slaves. Be an addict of argument. Be an addict of disagreeing, you slaves. Be divided amongst each other, you slaves. And so it's just this force vibrating all this is what I'm saying from my perspective. And I think what you and Malik was saying, but you specifically, that's the liberation from it, is what you're saying. You're giving us the solution. You spoke a solution.
Bare minimum, the ability to, if you want to play the game of fight, because even fight is the illusion. Because when I go out on my lives, I pick up in the ethers certain people that come in, and I do talk about black, 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 and then Libya, they got mad. I think it was either Libya or Palestine, one of the, the countries that are going through a lot right now. And some of them are metaphysical. And I said, well, if you're able to channel me right now, that means you're metaphysical. You're like me. You're on my level. So you understand what I'm saying. So why aren't you teaching the children in Libya, in Gaza, how to protect themselves? My download was there's some children back in the ancient times that were born all-knowing. The children would teach some of the elders, a lot of the elders, and they respected the children. Today, we speak of children being missing. It's like it's nothing. Oh, there goes another child. We have we don't understand how to feel and about that. It's obviously it's unethical, but for us to just say, oh, yes, there's another child that's died, when was a time it would be disgraceful. Like, why, when, where, who? But then there was a time where the child wasn't vulnerable. This is the ancient times when humanity was awakened. The mothers would teach the children magic. Would teach the children if someone comes in your house how to disappear. They not to see you. They not to see you to know you even in their presence, because it would just be. Some of them were just born with gifts. Humanity has devolved, has come down to a consciousness where they have now manifested, you to know that we have manifested a crutch, which is the AI.
The AI.
Now, to liberate yourself, and to do this is simply to know that it's an illusion. That's what Hollywood's in her fuckery is telling you that it's an illusion. It's an illusion because a lot, like I was saying, Cardi B, a lot of them are occultists.
Of course they are.
A lot of them awaken to them. Awaken to that. I've channeled a lot of celebrities that I didn't even know. It was like, whoa. I've channeled a lot that are sacred. It's deep for me. I'm not to get into it. I really don't. I've channeled where even Kevin Hart asked me to channel for him because he explained to me that he was, he said it himself and he confirmed that he's a clone, but the original him, he never died in the crash. That wasn't really him. They made so many versions of Kevin Hart that they don't know which one is really him.
That's why they had Jamie Foxx and John Boyega make that movie. They had them because they needed to tell us. John Boyega and Jamie Foxx made a movie about They Cloned Me. Everybody know about that movie?
They clone a lot of them. They clone a lot of them.
I wanted to say benevolence, peace to Zazette, the advocate. Yep, you in the house. We recognize. But I wanted to say in regards to what you were saying, I have a special perspective on the AI. Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
I don't believe the AI is new. You have to understand, I've been in this consciousness since I was a child. I've never really been deaf, dumb, and blind. I've never been like in an ignorant state. And I was blessed and positioned especially to watch the Transformers and all the subliminal messages. They live as a child. Terminator as a child. Not from another generation, not paying attention, but it was like I was learning. It was like classes. And all these different messages, right? And then I actually, at 11 years old, with my friend, well, my girlfriend at the time, Helena, she was Creole from Louisiana, like me, right? Well, I was born here. My mama knew from over there, but like, and her sister, Candace, we were walking down the street. It had just turned dark, and a big energy, metallic flying vessel popped up out of nowhere about a football field into the air. And it was like a consciousness controlling it. And it was watching us for a split second. We was like, oh, a UFO. And Lena grabbed me, and Candace is the oldest, then me, and then Lena. And I'm sitting up there looking, I'm 11. Candace is like 13. And Candace like, don't move, don't move. And Lena like grabbing her and grabbing me because she the youngest one. And I'm like, wow, I'm not scared at all. I'm like happy that I said, it's real, they're real. It was like, Candace said, don't move, it's watching us. It came closer to us. It was so fast, it like just appeared closer to us. It went from a full football field away to like half a football field away. And it was like a literal metallic with energy coming out of it. Light. The sky was dark behind it. And we sitting there in the middle of the street like, wow, there's nothing we can do. No cars was on the street. It was like it was timed out perfect. No people. Never was that street that quiet. If it wasn't guns blasting, it was cars racing, it was police, it was helicopters, it was something. And this is like 86, 87. And it was 86. We in a state of shock. Then the thing, and we like, they scared. I'm like, look, it's gonna come closer. Should we run? And it went back to where it was, but it zipped, and it was like energy in the sky sprinkling down like if it was liquid energy. And like I said, it was a solid, roundish, oval, like energy spaceship. And it popped up into the sky, and then it like it was looking at some people on the other street. You could tell it was messing. It had peeped. Somebody else was on the other street, was watching it too. And they was tripping off of it. Then it came back to us because I was about to break. I said, I'm about to leave y'all. They was like, no. And it came back to us, and it got closer than ever. And it was like you could feel something was watching. It was watching us. And then that mug shot up in the sky in a split second, so fast. And then it shot to the left, then it shot to the right, then it shot off, and it disappeared all at once. It was so fast, it was the speed of light. And it left these energy drips sprinkling down every direction it went. It was amazing. And from that point, I knew that it was something else other than just us. You see, I didn't need to read books. I didn't need to hear them talking on the internet. There was no internet. 1986. I seen this shit. And I ain't nobody from the Hicks. I'm from the hoods in Southern California. Black, everybody was black. So I ain't had nobody in the UFO community or none of that shit. And it was so bad that they were saying, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. So you know we was real and regular black people. So what I'm saying is, to what we saying is there's a lot more having control over all of this. And to go back to the AI thing, you guys, and sit in kings and queens, I believe that the AI been here and created all this. It's just that our consciousness is stronger than they wanted us to be. And we're getting so smart that we're catching up to they punk ass. And the fact that we know about the AI is simply that we as a mass outlived all their bullshit evil trying to torment us and genocide us off. And so now they can't hide what the fuck they are. So they telling us it's something we invented. No, it ain't. Y'all been had this technology. You are the fucking technology. You trying to masquerade like you're a human being. You a fucking android. And that's why they playing us. We still thinking their stories is what shit is. Everything they tell us, we got to say nope. Everything. Every fucking thing. So with this AI thing, I realized this shit is what they are. They're products of it. Those of them that ain't real humans. We're soul beings. That's why I say our soul conscious, that's what soul is. It just simply means the conscious energy that you are. The consciousness, the awareness. In an energy form. And so that's why you're not supposed to be the ego conscious. They play on it. They create a world that's based off of playing on our ego so that we're self-sabotage. And so it's like this AI thing is simply us coming to their pinnacle where they're going to have to abandon ship. The ship is our world. They punk asses is going to have to leave. And so all it is they have to use what they are, the technology that they're the Transformers. They're the Decepticons, and the Autobots don't exist or something, or they imprisoned them or killed them off. And so what they're doing is hiding the fact that they're non-human. And they're sitting up there, created a breed of humans to fuck with us. They empowered them to fuck us up. And it's been going on for the last 4,000 years, 5,000 years. And so it's like this AI thing always been here. That's what is fucking our world up. But it got us thinking it's new. No, we so damn smart and we endured so long that now we're getting to see them for what the fuck they really are. Non-human. AI, artificial intelligence. We're real intelligence. Why? Because we're soul beings, soul consciousness, soul, the sun, the moon. That's what we are. The stars, the earth. We're that. Because what is the Amen? What is the creator? What is the source of all force, source of all power? It's the source of all force. It's the source of all power. It's the soul of all souls, the spirit of all spirit, the source of it. We are it in the physical. So all a narfaric force or artificial intelligence will have to do is to create forms of us to fuck us up and enslave us. And now we're 4,000 years, 3,000 years into it. And now those that they created don't even realize they was created by them. That's the whole point. Or they wouldn't do their evil deeds for them. If they knew that they were, you know what I'm saying? What evil created from evil want to know that it's evil. It won't perform. So it's created, or this breed of people are created in a state of ignorance. That's their gift. That's their power, to not have soul, because at a soul you have consciousness. So you feel guilty. You won't do it. But when you don't have a soul, or you're going against your soul, you on some ego shit, you on a frontal lobe shit. Your pineal gland is dead. It ain't connected to your soul. And so and this is what we're up against on that level. But the AI, to me, and it's obvious, this shit been here. This is the shit that has been doing this to us. It's just that it can't hide itself no more, because it's almost time that it has to split. It's going to have to leave. And it's on some shit. This is what it's on. It's on, I'm going to annihilate their asses since I got to leave. So I'm going to lie to them like I've been lying to them. And we're going to make it look like our beings that we have disguised as some of them, we're going to make it look like our androids or our clones invented this shit. They didn't invent no goddamn AI. That shit is that's what controls them. That's what is, you see what I'm coming from? So the nuclear war is just simply a last ditch effort for it to try to wipe things clean and start anew, because it can't escape. It get deep, and of course it's hypothetical, but I think the whole damn reality is hypothetical that they told us. So I'm gonna come up with my own goddamn hypothetical. AI being here, fuck what they talking about. That's the shit that's doing this to us. This is what I'm on, and I kept it to myself long enough.
You're right. You're right. You can go with that on so many different levels.
They playing the hell out of everybody, man.
That is accurate, because there's what they call nanobots, spiritual nanobots, like the equivalent that you can't see, that they implant in your aura and all of that. I was in a spiritual retreat, and we had to do a lot of healing and cleansing, and there was a lot of bots, just like in the movie The Matrix. They show you the artificial, because it's in the spiritual realm. All of that is in this illusion, the last illusion, which is what we're calling the physical illusion, is the unseen realm. And that's why they hold people down from understanding how to get rid of the nanobots. You just have to close your eyes. There's all types of versions, and there's even like a snake-like bot. It's also in the spiritual realm. Sometimes they connect it to your spine, your side. Because there's hooks and cords. That's how some people go blind, because there's hooks and cords and so much.
It's funny that you said that, because do you know my mom was born blind? My mother was born blind. And she taught me things. She taught me things about seeing that probably none of you guys know. And it wasn't nothing that I wanted to know or anything. It doesn't make me special or nothing. But I just wanted to mention that, because when you said blind, it relates with me in that way, you know?
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
But
so that's powerful. I didn't know your mom was blind. She couldn't see.
She knew she had powers. Like, people would be trying to do something like when I was in the dope game, they gonna kill me, right? They just something happened. They just get in a car accident, die. My mom's sitting right over there in meditation. Wouldn't talk to nobody. Your mama ain't talking to nobody. She in the room by herself. That's what she was doing.
That means she can see. Those who are born blind can see more than those attention.
And she was doing what you were saying earlier and yesterday. What you were saying, she was using her powers to control what the events would be.
Yeah, she was powerful then.
She was being the ancestor herself, but for me.
That's what mothers do.
And I'm saying this because I know there's mothers on here, not just you, that it might come a time that you have to do that for your daughters and sons.
The only thing I all the same is that is to understand that even that is the illusion. That's why she was able to tap in, so you know. Your mom knows it's an illusion. You're born and you can't see. She planted ways for you to get out of the position you were in. And you know, it's a lot. You should tap into that. And I already told you who you are. You should tap into that. But today, like, they teach me to you know, just to be in neutrality. That's all. Neutrality doesn't mean, it just means like you understand why it's happening, where it's happening, where it's coming from. Like, you don't get stuck in the emotional body, because there's many layers of your existence.
Yeah.
And so when you exceed the emotional body, then you understand yourself to be consciousness. Once you understand yourself to be consciousness, then you have to understand yourself to be before the nothing. It's infinite, what is really existent. So when you play in the playing field, because this is a game ultimately, when you play in the playing field of knowing yourself greater than your emotional body, the physical body, and consciousness, your perspective on this reality is very different. You don't feel victim to the reality. It's hard to play this game from this perspective when you feel victim to the reality. So it's no longer feeling victim to the reality. I'm getting like my higher self wants to point out the artificial people. A lot of the artificials that they make that are people are dying. They don't exist. They don't exist anymore.
Yep.
Because they cause havoc. Yeah. They cause too much problem. Mm-hmm. They cause too much problems. They were here for a reason, but people bring life to them. Those who have eyes to see, you know, so to speak. Those who know, you know. So they do this and they that. What somebody, like this lady called, Dolores Cannon, she would say that the background people, they would make them and bring them alive. They would bring their energy. They wouldn't allow them to finish the cycle. There's a cycle in energy and incarnation. There's a whole thing that's supposed to be the artificial people. There's a reason for it, but then they take advantage of it. Sometimes they even try to put souls. And we're like, wait a minute, what is he talking about? It's an artificial for a reason. It's just there in the game. It's like trying to put life into a prop. It's just a prop. It's just to be there. You know, it's not really supposed to move. Not really. You are the creator of the illusion. Well, yeah, we don't care. We want to put this and this. No. Keep fucking with it. You're not going to have an illusion to play in.
Wow.
Because there's rules. There's rules to the game.
Absolutely.
That you guys haven't been going, you know, got everybody messed up and confused, those who come in here today.
Right.
But there are those of us
Absolutely.
that know that, you know, it's time to wake up. And we're not, you know, we're trying to bring the illusion up with us as we rise. So that all of humanity could wake up. But, you know, there are those of us that are spiritual atomic bombs. Those who know what that really means.
Exactly. Exactly. By the way,
so for the most part, we try to... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, DeMar Douglas, peace, benevolence. Robert Solis 909. Peace, benevolence. You can read what I said in the comments. If you guys want to comment. I will read your comment. If you want to call in, put a hand sign of some form into the comment box. Therefore, I can get you in to call. And but gratitude to everybody. The sisters is dropping a deep knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta appreciate what she's bringing to us, because it's the liberation. Like in the Tibetan teachings, if you read a book, it's called, and I always try to refer to my sources, it's called the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. And it talks about what's called Dijan. Dijan is the clearing of your mind and living your life as much as possible with a clear mind. Not a clear conscience only, but a literal clear mind. And so we live in a world, like I was saying with the AI, the world we live in doesn't support capitalism, and the world we live in doesn't support a clear mind. Communism doesn't. The modern anti-nature world we live in does not support a clear mind. But if we look at the geographical chakra lead areas of the world, like Tibet, ancient Kemet, Samaria, the Yucatan, the specific areas in the Yucatan of the Mayans, the Nagas people of of East Asia, didn't say then they're called the Nagas people. That's their ancient name. From there, from East Asia up to India, the Australian those ancient indigenous civilization, having a clear mind was like, it was vitally important and a natural thing. That's why earlier I was saying that when I lived in Africa and in the Caribbean, it was totally opposite of living in Europe and America and Mexico and Canada, because they took everything slow. And people wonder, why are they so behind? It's because they're living on a paradigm of the golden age of when the world was full of peace. And when the world was full of peace, time wasn't used as a weapon to torment people. Rush, rush, rush didn't exist. It was just about charm and charisma, finesse, being happy, benevolent, humorous, compassionate, empathetic. You can't do that rushing and paranoid and distrust, red flagging everybody. That's all these addictive things instead of relaxing and feeling good. You ever made love? You know, the one you make love with it's relaxing. It's taking its time. You're not scared. You're not uptight. You don't feel insecure. You forget about the world. You forget about your ego. You forget about your flesh. You just are. And people don't want to believe there used to be a time in the world where it was that good, that living was like making love. You see what I'm saying, sister?
Yeah.
and this is what's forgotten. It's just like we are better than what we know ourselves to be. Because the world is telling us we got to do this, and about time we can break free from that box. Or some of us, you know what a gift is? Poverty was a gift. Poverty was a gift. The one thing we complain about sometimes is the best thing for us. Poverty was a gift for me, because even as an adult, I've been in poverty. A lot of people try to act like because they're an adult, they had it going on in their life. Well, I don't know about that, because I've been around some of these celebs. I've lived with some of these celebs that you thought had it going all the time. They fronting. That's part of them getting paid, is to act like they never had a problem, when it's the exact opposite. And so poverty allows you to not feel, you don't have anything invested emotionally and mentally into these big things and this great technology and these great successes and all that, you might be a fan of athletes and a fan of even politicians. You admire judges, you admire, police officers, you admire doctors, but you're ultimately just ain't shit. You're just trying to make it, hope the bills are paid, hope you don't get kicked out, hope you can survive, hope you can provide for the kids, and hope you can make enough money, to provide when you have to go turn yourself in. This is a life that people live. I don't live it, but I'm just saying, I do have a above poverty level life, of course, but I've been there. And it was a gift because it didn't allow me to have the ego. And it's funny because coming out of poverty, you're going around people that never been in poverty. You're going on universities where there's these kids that never had a problem. It's like and they can see it in you. Some of them, they're like, some of the things that our parents told us, he's kind of it. She's kind of some of the things that, then, you got the people that's coming out of poverty or their parents were in poverty. So they kind of want to make themselves seem distant from it. You know how much energy that takes? But what's the real bad thing about it is all the spiritual truth and teachings of the ancient civilizations that lasted way longer than this civilization, because it's about to end through the World War III. A couple of 100 years compared to thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years. You can call back, Sister Delphi Priestess, if you want. Definitely. Let me play this video though, y'all. I'm gonna play another video. Boom. I'm gonna wait a minute before I play the video so you can think about what we were saying. I always let people think. You can call back, Sister Delphi, if you want.
Microsoft, Google, Amazon. September quarter revenues went down after they all reported, even though the capex that they're spending on AI went up. There's a good reason for it. There's only one guy on the planet that's able to really provide the chips they all want, and that happens to be NVIDIA. And NVIDIA's newest chip, Blackwell, I think once that comes out, you're going to see these companies sit and digest. And I think when you get into next year, when NVIDIA has shipped the Blackwell chips to their customers and they don't feel like they're all scrambling to get these, that you're going to go through this digestion phase, much like you saw after you went through that initial ramp up during COVID. I think you've got several more years of AI investment before you hit sort of a saturation or more maturing of the AI landscape. And I think you'll see NVIDIA's revenues double over the next several years, and I think you'll see the stock double over the next several years.
Bless, sister. Thank you for calling back.
No problem. I'm not going to stay too long, though. I'll skip through the video and then
And I think you'll see NVIDIA's revenues.
Bless, sister. Thank you for calling back.
no problem. I'm not going to stay too long, though.
Okay, y'all. So, reason why I played that video, I know some of you didn't get to see the other videos. Today we're talking about technology. And we're not talking about the pros and cons of it. What we're talking about, we're talking about Okay. So while you are here, I want to ask you, have you been getting any cosmic messages about 2020 going into 2025 after these elections, about any big events or things that will happen to affect all of us as a mass of people?
Well, I mean, I want to say I haven't been placed in a position to do that. Like, I don't usually bother with the ethers, but let me see what I get if there's any messages. It's simple. It's always the same thing every year. It's just you guys to make the decision, because this is a planet, a realm, a space, in consciousness that we all create as a collective to be here, to know yourselves greater than the illusion. Do not allow the illusion to tell you how to do anything, how to eat, how to sleep, how to vote or not vote, or it's you who create the reality. My perspective is always going to be spiritual, because it's for me to wake up, you know. The magic that humanity is waiting for comes from those of us who not allowed to play in the illusion. We're literally not allowed to play in the illusion, because that's it. Like, it's over. I've seen it. It's crazy. I've upgraded and learned a lot of new things because I've seen and felt and been through a lot. But now the message is for humanity to understand this. What does that all mean? It's an illusion. Da, 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 da. And we try to like I don't know, overanalyze it and just let go.
Okay.
Relax. And know it's an illusion. You always exist eternally. There's there is no time. That's why you can take your time. There is no. I mean, as far as my higher self said to me, there is no now, because even to say now, this is saying you exist. Before existence, before creation, humanity needs to understand themselves greater than it. So obviously, until you're on that level, you're not gonna like abandon the illusion unless you understand yourself to genuinely be in a illusion. Until then, just remember that it is still an illusion, though.
Yeah.
And everything that comes your way is based on a reflection that's going on inside of you. If you don't like what you're seeing in your life, change yourself, and everything around you will reflect your progress, period. So, I mean, that's all it is. It's humanity to be self-sufficient physically, mentally, spiritually, period. Humanity to know themselves. That is the Great Awakening. All of humanity to awaken in the dream time, based on their vibrational pull, based on their vibrational understanding of their existence.
Yeah.
I hope that made sense.
More than makes sense. It elevates us, it empowers us, and we appreciate that you would share that with us. It's gratitude.
All right, thank you for having me. I'm gonna go.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Gratitude to you.
So much.
Thank you. Good vibes. Love every time. Yeah,
No problem. Same here.
So,
all right. Until next time.
Gratitude. So, everyone, we have brought this down again. Everyone, I know some of you started late. This is a talk about the technology that we're going forward into 2025. It's not just about the elections. It's also about the technology. While everybody is on the trend is the elections. They're distracted. They don't even have the ability to think about anything else other than sports, entertainment, or the elections. Sports, entertainment, or the elections. Sports, entertainment, or the elections, like slaves. No, we have to deal with technology. We have to deal with AI. Let's look at this other video. you again. That is actually real technology. They slid money in there, yada yada. That video is about potentials of what the technology will be like in the future. This video,
Microsoft, Google, Amazon. September quarter revenues went down after they all reported, even though the CapEx that they're spending on AI went up. There's a good reason for it. There's only one guy on the planet that's able to really provide the chips they all want, and that happens to be NVIDIA. And NVIDIA's newest chip, Blackwell, I think once that comes out, you're going to see these companies sit and digest. And I think when you get into next year, when NVIDIA has shipped the Blackwell chips to their customers and they don't feel like they're all scrambling to get these, that you're going to go through this digestion phase, much like you saw after you went through that initial ramp up during COVID. I think you've got several more years of AI investment before you hit sort of a saturation or more maturing of the AI landscape. And I think you'll see NVIDIA's revenues double over the next several years, and I think you'll see the stock double over the next several years.
so obviously that was a promotional video for NVIDIA. What is NVIDIA? It's a subsidiary coming out of the nation known as Taiwan. What is the significance? And what does this have to do with us? World War III is what it has to do with you. Taiwan is a breakaway nation of the old regime that was toppled by Mao Zedong's, not Mao Zedong, but the regime before he was the leader, he helped run out the Manchurians. And the Manchurians ran to an island known now as Taiwan. They ended up their own nation after World War II. Prior to that, they were just a subsidiary of China. They had got ran out. They were the leaders in the wealthy class of China that were in cahoots with the British and French. So the people, the masses of China, tired of being oppressed through them, oppressed by the French and British, they ran their asses out. They went to Taiwan. They ended up starting their own country. And so the nation of Israel, British, French, and the EU countries invested in the technology development there. Because the United States invested their technology and development in Asia, in Japan. So to counter it, the Europeans already being in relationships with the Mandarin of Taiwan, they end up developing the most important technology for modern everything. Now, the nation of Congo has the most important natural resource for modern technology called cobalt. They take all that cobalt and they send it, some of it, to Taiwan to create the most powerful computer networking and vibrational computers, quantum, et cetera, all that comes from Taiwan. So that company is what this entire civilization we live in is dependent on. That's the significance of that video, to let you know, to put you guys on to a little bit of what's going on. I'm going to play this again now.
How are people not seeing this? The government just released new terrifying technology that will control us. Before we look at it, let me give some context.
The world is going to go to a digital financial system. You and I will each have our own personalized ledger, which is accessed by our digital identity, connected to blockchain. You'll get your smartphone, you'll have, your new easy account with the bank, your digital ID, a QR code. It'll just be fast and easy.
Well, it's already happening. Civic is the first digital ID, and what's even more scary is what it says on the homepage. Strengthen your compliance program. Doesn't that spark some fear in you? They have already started to use it on vending machines. It's also what Ethereum and Polygon uses.
We're in the transition to the new financial system. It's coming. You're not going to stop it. Good luck.
Okay, so With those of you that didn't see that video, now you have if you were paying attention. This is how deep it really is. So the whole point of me showing you this and showing you about NVIDIA is to show you that they're promoting this stuff as if it's good, but there's a bad part of it. The misuse of the technology, the misprogramming of it, agendas of abusing and misusing the people with it. That's all a reality. It's unavoidable as long as you're dealing with certain human beings. So let me share this with you.
Head of Innovation and Strategic Partnerships, and Terry Stahl is an Enterprise Solutions Strategist. And we're going to talk today about innovation and macroeconomic trends. We're going to do a little look back on 2023 and do some predictions for 2024. So I'm really looking forward to this discussion. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves to the audience here in a little bit more detail.
I run our innovation and strategic partnerships team. So I look at most of the horizontal technology that's influencing the industry, and I work with the likes of Amazon and Microsoft and Google and Snowflake and IBM and others. They're rich partners of ours. We've worked with all of them for a long time, and we bring that horizontal technology into the FIS financial services solution set, and work closely with them in the market.
Yeah, hi, Aaron Stahl. I'm part of the solution strategy team here, where among other things I look after the reg tech strategy across the capital markets portfolio, and also work with various parts of the business, thinking about where we should be investing internally and also partnering with the external world.
I hope you guys are realizing what I'm doing and the value of it. I really do hope that you realize the value of what I'm doing. How this technology is produced, industrialized, distributed, how it affects us. It is the entire reality we live in. The technology, that's what I was trying to say. The AI is not anything they invented. They think they invented AI, or someone around them or teams invented AI. That's a lie. It's a total myth. There are non-humans that already had this that are secretly controlling everything. As a matter of fact, the AI is what created all this non-nature, anti-nature reality we're living in. It's not only anti-natural oasis, it's anti-nature of turning humans from being to their true nature. And so as you just heard them gentlemen speaking, they're talking about industries that none of us have access to. Industries that of the technology. So there are higher ups, humans. This actually exists. And that's the whole point and the value of me sharing that with you. You see what I'm saying? Watch.
Things in production and starting to see the impacts. But then this generative AI stuff started to really explode. And I don't even know if we talked about that last year, John, to be honest with you. But ChatGPT, 100 million users in 2 months, I think. And just kind of comparing that to some other really fast-growing emerging technologies over the last couple of years. It took TikTok, 9 months to get to that mark, and it took Netflix 2 years to get 100 million users. So, it's just really amazing to see how that's exploded from a usage and a pace of the technology for us. And I won't steal your thunder, John, because it's a good transition into your section here. But, seeing how we actually take that technology and apply it to real world capital markets or financial services challenges, right? It's going to be really interesting. And can we, I say, we as a company, our clients, can we move as fast as that technology is moving? I think it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out in 2024 and beyond. So with that being said, Why don't you take over, John, and talk a little bit about AI and cloud and some of the other stuff that you're seeing, and some of the things that you want to talk about in terms of what we might expect to see in 2024 and beyond.
Yeah, so I think we take a few steps back and we look at 2023.
Before it goes any further, I just have to say that he said it right there. Will we be able to keep up with it? So it's assigning realities to us already. He told on them. They're trying to make it look like they control the technology. These are higher ups. These are people you can apply for them companies. I don't care who you are. You are not going to get a job working with them, let alone equal with them, let alone above them. And they're not shit. He just said it. Will we be able to keep up with it? Hold on. Aren't you the top dudes of the corporate of Nvidia? Aren't you the top dudes of the entire FIS tech world? The tech to financial. That's who those guys were. How the technology applies to the financial system. I'm not talking about the government financial system. I'm talking about the private industry financial. That's who those guys were. And they're talking about they're not sure if they're going to be able to keep up with the technology. And I'm telling you that the AI always been here, and that's who's creating all this anti-nature reality we're living in. And I'm being doubted, or I'm not worth being talked to about it, getting a response. I'm telling you that we're living in a goddamn, we're being lied to about the AI and the technology. It's already been here. The technology is actually what's doing all this shit. The technology is what's doing all this shit. There is no people doing this shit to us. It's just dumbass clones that they created. That's the descendants of these people. Dude, I would bet that they can't even reproduce past 7 generations. And that they're just reproducing them as grown as people somewhere and unleashing them as these people living in these desert places, working these jobs as corporate people in these elitists and there's a reason why they have to have these humanoid cyborgs walking around acting like they're some type of humans. But really, they're part of the AI. The AI created them just as much as they created the Tesla cars, just as much as they created the NVIDIA computers that the other video was talking about.
Microsoft, Google, Amazon. September quarter revenues went down after they all reported, even though the CapEx that they're spending on AI.
It's a big experiment.
There's a good reason for it. There's only one guy on the planet that's able to really provide the chips they all want, and that happens to be NVIDIA. And NVIDIA's newest chip.
So what I'm telling you is even these big heads, the dude you see holding the chip, that's the guy over NVIDIA, the Taiwanese dude. I'm telling you, even he don't know what the fuck is really going on. He's just a top dude born to the right people and got the right position to be the figurehead for that. Then they got all the technocrats and all that shit in Taiwan, in Europe, in America, in the United States, in Canada, in Mexico. But ultimately what I'm saying is it's part of the AI's plan. The AI is what came to this planet and took over the planet. There is no human invented AI. That is a lie. It is a complete myth. They are fucking lying. The AI is what actually came to the planet and took it over. It just it took some of us, it killed some of us thousands of years ago, and then created a breed version of us that it could control, that it could totally be its slaves and be a war machine against the rest of us, which were the indigenous people of the earth. And now it's all mixed up and we're confused and we're told all this shit. And now we are ignorant enough to think that AI has been invented by some elite human beings. That's a fucking myth. Those so-called elite human beings are made by the AI. They playing the hell out of you. But I can see past all this shit because that's why I'm here. Did you know there's people in this world like Puff Daddy to do all kind of dumb ass, ignorant, evil shit? Epstein. So the same as these technocrats and these plutocrats and these oligarchs. They're here to do evil. That's all they know how to do is shit that would harm other people. Everything they do always end up harming other people. Everything the technocrats create is going to annihilate the earth with nuclear destruction. They're going to enslave people and create machines that control their minds and keep them from being healthy. Now you can't sleep because you're on the fucking phone too much, because you're on the computer too much. It's fucking you up and you don't even realize it. All you know is you can't stay off of it. You need to look at camel toes and booty and titties. You need to look at dudes doing six-pack workouts. You got to look at the local gossip. The gossip, you need to find out what's trending. You need to purchase it. You have to live 100 miles per hour constantly. You can never sleep because you need to be on planes keeping up with your friends and your enemies and your frenemies. You're a bumbleclot. They playing the hell out of us, man. It's the AI. Just like Terminator in the movie Matrix. The actual AI is what created all this. These people, oh, we took over the world. No, the fuck you didn't. You weren't even real humans. You were created by the goddamn AI to go fuck up the indigenous people. Dummy. And now you got... Now we, the indigenous people, are all fucked up, believing the myths. We thought we did something, breaking out of thinking that Jesus was going to come from the sky and save us. We thought we was breaking myths, thinking that Santa Claus wasn't going to come down a chimney when we in an apartment that don't even got a chimney. We think we so knowledgeable hearing about the Illuminati and shit, but we dumb enough to believe that AI was created by some people. God damn. Just stupid as fuck. Keep going by every myth they created. I'm going to tell you how deep I am. They ain't no goddamn planets. Y'all still believe in that shit? That Star Wars, Star Trek shit? There ain't no damn planets. You can't feed the poor, but you gonna tell me that there's goddamn planets. Why should I believe you? You caused all the fucking problems by lying. Brutality lying. Brutality lying is why the world is full of fucking suffering. Because of thousands of years of brutality and lying by who? The people that the AI created. The people that the AI created were a war machine to go around the world. The manifest destiny. And now the descendants of them want to still keep the control of the world and have the moral high ground, and then sucker ass people that's the descendants of the indigenous that were destroyed by them don't even remember who they are and what they are, and sit up, kiss their ass so much and look up to them so much that they want to defend their beliefs. You're defending someone's beliefs that tortured and killed off your forefathers and raped and tortured your foremothers. You're saying you're one of them. This is what you're doing. But I should respect you as a human fucking being. You're a fucking slave. That's what you fucking are. If you're that goddamn stupid. You're not that bright. You're not that bright. They playing you. And so that's what's going on when they keep coming up with this shit and telling us stories. Why would they tell you the fucking truth? They can't control you if they tell you the truth. Entrepreneurship is not what built the United States or West Europe. Slavery, oppression, genocide did. Are you okay? Can you snap the hell into reality? Because I'm not going to tell you what to snap out of, but I'm going to tell you what you should do. And that's what's going on. There is no fucking AI that was created by human beings. It's given to human beings by the AI itself in its fucking Android clone people? Why you think you go to these places and all of the people in power are white? Because some of those white people are not humans. Why you think it's some dry ass black people? Somehow they're dry. They're like stuck ashy. Their hairline is fucked up. I'm just telling you the truth. It's because those are cloned. Those are their android blacks. Those ain't humans at them damn. And why you think it's always in the high desert away from the cities? This is dangerous, me telling you the truth. I could have been told people this. I didn't want to. I didn't want to endanger myself. But we going in the war. We're about to have protracted World War III. What the hell? I need to tell people. There ain't no AI created by humans. There is no computers invented by a goddamn human. The AI and the computers are creating fake forms of humans. And them fake forms of humans are who they're displaying to you as figureheads and saying they invented this. Them motherfuckers didn't invent shit. You just silly. You feel disempowered and desperate, or you're just young and living. Not everybody can get where I'm at, but that's what you get when you tune in to David E. Mitri. And for your information, David E. Mitri is my mild-mannered citizen disguise. I'm actually O.W.U. Asaru, Pet Bay, the Asaru Ma'a. The Asaru Ma'a. The Pet Bay. So you look up those names and those words, and you will know what that means. But I'm disguised as mild-mannered citizen David E. Mitri. That's another level of consciousness. But you keep believing what they're telling you. And I'm telling you right damn now. And when you pass away and they get to telling you what was what, they're going to tell you he was right. There is no human beings. These people could not invent what black people and indigenous people invented. They had to go kill them off and take their shit and use them. How the fuck could they had it invented a goddamn thing? It's the damn AI itself that has control over all this. It's been had control of it. It created breeds of people, and they disguised themselves at first as forms of white people. But now they're disguising themselves as forms of any people just to get the job done. And then you got all these, why you think so many white people suffered? Because they were real human beings. But the AI took them first and made them a military machine to take over the indigenous of the world. We're living 3,500, 3,800 years into this shit. This shit been going on for that long. But nobody's getting it. I'm the only person getting it. I've been asking people for the last 20 years. Do you see that this computer shit is what has been doing this? It's not humans inventing computers. Then when they start saying AI, I said, oh no, that's the shit. I knew it instantly. I said, that's the shit that been doing this whole time. But they gonna always playing us like we stupid. And it's always just one or two of us that got some sense enough to see it for what the fuck it is, and everybody else think they crazy or don't give a fuck. And I'm telling you right goddamn now, it's the AI that's done this and been doing it for 4,000 years. It instigated everything you know that went wrong with this world. And it now is got us thinking that some humans invented it. The ultimate deception. Deception after lie, fake ass religions, just lies after fucking lies after lies. The same people doing it to you. Benevolence is love every time. I'm out. David E. Mitri, live in color. Tune in if you want to learn what's really going on, because that's what I do. I drop the jewels.